All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Green White Checkered TV. Tonight we have race number 2 of the Area 51 Superspeedway Xfinity Series playoff race. Again, 8 drivers are eligible for that championship, and so we've had one down. And I say it's been a week. I hope you all had a very happy and safe 4th of July weekend. And yeah, I'll say it was by far one of the more wild ones that we've had in the league, and with especially with playoff kind of situations involved in that one. So as you can see tonight, though, all is kind of the usual 75 laps are scheduled distance, and then of course 3 attempts of a green white checkered attempt should they need it. So right now drivers putting down their qualifying laps to see where they kick off this evening. But let's go ahead and pull up those standings that I was just talking about after last week's race, as it was actually BK Anderson getting the big win. However, on the playoff side of things, Sebastian Marin, he takes the points lead by 8 over Eric Laurie. Then you got Peter DeBorgia, Gabe Butler there, 3rd and 4th. Then you got Cody Nagels, Vicente Guerrero, Todd Siebels, and JD Crow. So still have all 8 drivers within 30 points. And say it's definitely something that can be clawed back. The difference between first and second last week was 10 points between BK and Sebastian, so bonus points definitely will play a role in this. Of course, we talked about the bonus points as well for having an incident-free race as well. Those are very, very big things to keep an eye on here tonight. So yeah, definitely gonna be a lot of fun to see what these guys have in store. Hopefully you enjoyed the NASCAR race over at a different type of speedway, super speedway, whatever they want to call it. I say a little wider, got a little more room to play with over here tonight at Talladega versus the Atlanta. Of course, no spoilers in case anybody still hasn't had a chance to watch it. So talking to you, Chad Cole, I know you got your VCR ready to go, so you can watch that race here later on tonight. So, but yeah, I hope you all have had a wonderful evening, wonderful weekend. And I hope you're ready for have some fun racing here in just a few minutes here as they continue to qualify. Currently looks like we have about 18 drivers that have put down a qualifying lap as of this moment. Looks like we're going to have about, I'd say, mid upper 20s if I'm not mistaken, looking at the car count tonight. And saying again, a lot of usual names, usual faces here in that crowd tonight. A few also little tweaks and updates to the paint schemes, it looks like, as well this evening. I was saying it's going to be on different sides of things, on the team side of things, but then also on manufacturers and things of that nature. So it's going to be fun to see kind of the differentiations and differences that these cars are going to have for us this evening. It's always fun, like I said, the originality of the painters and the drivers is always just second to none. And it's just one of those little things that just make it so much fun to see what these guys have in store week in, week out for us. So definitely hope you enjoy the paint schemes that we'll see here shortly. Like I said, we've got about a minute left in qualifying. Still got about a half a dozen cars on track here, trying to put down maybe some late qualifying times. See if they maybe get a little bit less wind, or maybe the temperature drops, catch a cloud, things like that, to just give them that little tiny extra advantage here. Because as we well know, qualifying thousands could mean a big difference here tonight at Talladega. Alright, looks like we've got about 20 seconds left to go, and looks like pretty much everybody that has put down a lap has completed their laps. So yeah, looks like we're going to have 22 drivers that took part in qualifying, and then we're going to have a handful of drivers opting to start towards the back of the field, try to see if they can also, we talk about other ways of getting bonus points. Highest climber, another way you can try to get some bonus points here this evening as well. So there's going to be a lot of strategies to see which one's going to be the right one. We won't know until at least 75 laps, possibly a little more than that as well. As you see the pace car there starting to pop up on the grid. So with that, let's pull up our starting grid for tonight's event, as it is going to be the number 1 of Gabe Butler getting that pole position, getting that all-important bonus point tonight. And then right next to him, you see that number 06 of Cody Nagels, and Sebastian Marin, Charles Johnson in 4th, Dean Wilkinson rounding out our top 5, and then bring it over to Vicente Guerrero, Eric Laurie, Richard Sanchez, Paul Sheldon, and BK Anderson. Then after our top 10, move on to 11th with Zach Workman, Robert DuPont, Peter DeBorgia, JD Crow, Les Levy, Dave Bingle, Bud Steele, Jay Hilliard, Derek Guillory, and Aaron Wisner are top 20. And again, still see a few drivers putting some lap times down there. David Overstreet, Robert Jordan, the last two making time on the track. And then from Joshua Gathright on back, these drivers opting to start towards the back here, including, we just mentioned, Joshua Gathright, Robert Rock in the 171. And then including also Keith Horner, Bob Fitzgerald, Dan Harrington, Randy Miner, Todd Siebels, and Charles Sanchez will be the 30 starters here tonight at Talladega. Alright, so just waiting for all the drivers to finish gridding up. Just look at about 3 drivers they're waiting on. So say iRacing always gives them about 2 minutes to be able to grid, and then from there, say if they don't make it in time, if their bathroom break took too long, then they're going to have to start from the pits. But I think we're just about there. Looks like we've got 1 driver waiting to get gridded, and I think they just have done so now. So we're going to see that pace car start to roll in just a moment, and that's going to hand it over to that front row to kind of get that warm-up lap underway, which will be the one of Gabe Butler, who we just mentioned up front, with Cody Nagels next to him, as there goes that Mustang pace car. As you can see there, Cody Nagels, a new paint scheme, or I should say new manufacturer. So it looks like Toyota coming on board to pick up some IROC sponsorship. And yeah, definitely don't adjust your screens. There definitely are a handful of rusty cars here tonight. Not sure if the TW Motorsports boys, if they found a barn of magic tricks or not, but definitely some rusty cars out there on the track. But I have a feeling, and so you never know, Rust might get rid of a little bit of extra weight off of these things. You can see there the 55 and the 9 of Dean Wilkinson, Charles Johnson. So maybe they'll save a little bit of weight on those cars, let them go just that little bit quicker. But again, loving the originality and the little tips and tricks these guys like to kind of play with their paint schemes. As of course, like you mentioned, those IROC cars switching from the Chevys over to the Toyota. So you can see Cody there in 2nd, Vicente in 6th. And then not too far back, BK Anderson in 10th. So they're all right there together in that top 10 here this evening to start things off. And I should be joined here shortly by my partner in crime. I really want to appreciate his time as well. Of course, Matt Wagner. And for those that don't know, actually, definitely want to wish you, Matt, if you are here yet, a happy belated birthday. As I say, I know you became, I'm going to say, we'll say 25. That way you're old enough to rent a car and have all that kind of fun. So I'm definitely glad to be able to share this one with you here tonight. So I hope you had a good birthday, and looking forward to calling this race with you here as the field heads through turn number 3 for the kind of that warm-up lap to get things underway here momentarily. So as I mentioned, 30 drivers here taking the green tonight. Again, 8 of those drivers are playoff drivers. So again, we'll see on the ticker on the top, say once we get going green, we'll switch it over to the vertical ticker over on the left side. If you see your favorite driver highlighted in green, they are part of the playoffs. If they are not, then they are not in the playoffs, but of course they'll still be going for that all-important win here tonight. So never count any of these drivers out. So it's going to be up to the green flag here to initially to start this off, and then from then on the leader has control of restarts. So Gabe Butler, Cody Nagels waiting for that green flag to fly. Should happen right here in the Geico restart zone as green flag flies in. We are underway, scheduled distance 75 laps here tonight at Talladega, as Gabe Butler, Sebastian Marin already locked bumpers here as they head into turn number 1 for the first time.
What's up?
There's our birthday boy rolling in here right as the green flag kicks off. So no, good to have you over here, Matt. I say we just got underway.
Man, thanks, I appreciate that.
Right off the bat, Sebastian Marin not playing any games here. He's going to go right after that number 1. And Gabe Butler don't go into the outside, picking up Cody Nagels, Charles Johnson. You see also, I think that's the 50. Not the 55. That's the 510, I believe, of Richard Sanchez. He's going to the 3rd lane, maybe trying to drop back here early on, but Right off the bat, though, it's going to be who can get that push early to try to lead lap number 1 and get that all-important bonus point kind of just out of your checkbox and then be able to kind of run your race from there. And right now, Gabe's got just a nose ahead, but we'll see if Sebastian makes a big push here off of the tri-oval. And yeah, indeed, Gabe Butler going to lead lap number 1. So again, that's 2 bonus points already in the bank, if you will, for that one car. Again, getting the pole and leading a lap. So that's exactly what Gabe's going to have to do. But again, because Sebastian is our points leader after race number 1 at Daytona 2 weeks ago before the 4th of July weekend. So Gabe's going to have to claw back some points from that number 23, as right now Sebastian getting all the pushing he can handle from that 06 of Cody Nagels. I say Cody, also another one of our playoff contenders here. Didn't have quite the run he was hoping for 2 weeks ago, but definitely going to be ready to get back after here tonight. Like so far, everybody playing pretty nicely, 2x2, no big 3-wide moves yet at the line. I believe right there again, just by about a splitter, probably Gabe Butler leading lap number 2. As right now, not a huge change in the top 10 or so, everybody about a position or two. You got to go a little bit back, about 13th position. Aaron Wisner in the number 22. Right now, one of our highest climbers there, gaining 7 spots, now 8 spots in that 22, locked on right behind Les Levy there. As you see, Les, he's going to jump to the top side. Aaron's thinking he's got other ideas here, so unfortunately Les is going to probably drop to the back unless he can find some friends here in short matter. And it looks like, yeah, indeed, he is going to lose some spots there. And also another one that's moving up here quickly is Joshua Gathright in that number 89 machine that slots in right behind that 62 of Les Levy, also up 9 positions as they run. But while we looked at that, though, Sebastian Marin to the front, able to get to the inside. Now is going to try to get that lap led at the line, and I believe was able to do so over Cody Nagels.
I probably would have expected Gabe Butler to drop to the back as we saw the last time he raced. Because as soon as he led a lap, he dropped into the back. And as soon as I just said that, look what happened.
I think Gabe heard you say, yeah, that does sound familiar. Let me go ahead and do that. So yeah, there goes Gabe. He got the lap lead he wanted, and then I think probably also lost that lead of the inside line. So said, you know what? Let's take it back a notch. Let's just take it easy. Let's let these guys do the dicing up front, because it is dicey now. Right now, you see teammates have lined up on the inside line. Though, you got Cody Nagels, Vicente Guerrero. They've hooked up down low. But again, Sebastian Marin, I think he's just going to be going for it all every lap. And that's just Sebastian. I mean, if there's a race, it doesn't matter if it's lap 1, if it's lap 50, if it's lap 75. He's going to be going after. He wants to be up front, in control, in the best position he can be in, race in, race out. That's just the way he races, and more often than not, it works out for him. So it's just that's kind of the strategy. You have to figure out what's the right way to go. So right now, as you see, one more dropping down to the inside. I say it's one of the TW drivers here, which I believe is going to be is that Paul Sheldon?
Paul Sheldon.
Okay, I thought it was Paul. I wasn't 100% sure. Yeah, it's Paul. So he's got to be careful here as he's on the apron here. He's going to, yeah, you can see there, had to roll out of the throttle a lot there. I actually think this might be him rolling on the apron for a separate issue here. I don't think that was really by decision to roll to the back, because just the way he wasn't able to merge back on cleanly. A little nervous about him losing the draft here, so we'll have to keep an eye on that 52. That car, yeah, definitely has been dropping off the pack here. And that little bobble really shook up the last 2 cars in the lead pack now, which are right here, J.D. Crow and Charles Sanchez. They are in danger of losing the draft right now. And then also one that we notable that's dropped a fair bit back as well, Peter DeBorgia, one of our defending champion. He's just cruising right now back in 26th spot, as I think kind of doing the opposite of the aggression that we are used to seeing from Peter. He said, you know what, I'm going to keep this car in one piece and make those moves towards the end. And I mean, say Peter's one of those drivers, very, very smart, really knows when and where to put that car. So I think not too concerned about Peter at any rate at this point. But I said the 2 I am very concerned about, though, unfortunately, right now, are J.D. Crow and Charles Sanchez, as they're now 1.3 seconds off of Dan Harrington. And then it's another 1.7 back to Paul Sheldon, who has indeed lost the draft. So let's say J.D. Crow and Charles Sanchez, they're going to have to really hustle here to try to catch back up. And I think we're seeing a little bit of assistance here. I think Gabe Butler rolling back just a little bit off the draft here, off of Dan Harrington, trying to see if he can pick up those 2 cars to bring them back into the pack. So some teamwork already here early, again, only on lap number 7. And as we jump back live there, huge move from the outside to the inside by Sebastian Marin. That was clear by inches by that 23 over the 06 there.
I see Les Levy and looks like David Overstreet trying to get that third lane to work, and it's just going to need more guys to make that happen. But it looks like, Robert DuPont is going for the third, but opts to go back into the second lane there.
Yeah, so you want to be up there, but yeah, you always worry about that driver cutting back down before you have a chance to react. And yeah, you can definitely tell though that the 07 car is ready to go. And as soon as I say that, the 071 Eric Laurie, something he saw he didn't like, he's going to roll out of it a little bit as well. And this also still might be part of the team strategy here. I think some of the boot knockers here, I think, are trying to get lined up here because unfortunately they have not been able to grab back to the front here. So you can see Gabe Butler, he's about a second and a half off of Dan Harrington. So we might see the 071, maybe possibly that might be what he's doing here, is trying to drop back to pick up his teammate as well, just to try to make that group a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger. So we'll keep an eye on Eric and see if he falls back a little bit further as well. But again, these are playoff contenders here, Matt. 25th, 27th, 28th, and teammates as well. So right now, not the start they're looking for. Whereas right now, say on the complete opposite side of the spectrum, you got Sebastian, Cody, and Vicente right now running 1, 3, and 5. So
there goes another one.
And there goes one with Dean Wilkinson this time, SA. So, and this also, I forgot about this until now, Matt. Probably fuel mileage too. Something that you guys have talked about, the numbers right on the edge of making about 25 laps on green flag conditions. So. If they can't get to that 25 mark, that's going to be an extra pit stop if we go green, and that's just going to completely ruin the strategy of this race. So I'm sure there's a handful of drivers here. They're just kind of just cruise control here on that inside line, just saving fuel. And I think Vicente, probably one of them, started 6th, currently still in 6th, and just in this nice little spot right behind his teammate there on that inside line.
You know, I would not be surprised if we see Sebastian Merrick drop to the back.
I don't think we will, honestly. I think Sebastian's kind of started to do his own thing here lately. Didn't mention, unfortunately, it looks like Paul Sheldon's had to jump to pit road here, so I think there was something going on. And here comes the third lane, though, Matt. We're talking about when was it going to form. We mentioned the 07 Robert DuPont. He looked interested. But as soon as he went up there again, he lost his help. Though Les Levy drops to the middle there, as does
no friends.
68 David Overstreet. So looks like it could be worse. I mean, he's going to lose 2 spots here, but yeah, it's always that's definitely a tough feeling to jump up top. You're like, all right, here we go, let's go for it, and then nobody goes with you. So.
Yeah, nobody wants to go with you, and it's like I said, I know that feeling. It really sucks, but it is what it is. It's racing.
It is. And so while we're watching that, the number 9, Charles Johnson, he gets his car to the point there in that number 9. So he hops in front of Sebastian Marin, getting a good push there from that 32 of BK Anderson. And now BK getting the push from the 22 of Aaron Wisner. And then now, it may have just been a little bit of selfishness where maybe it was that number 68 there, or sorry, 62, Les Lee said, yeah, I want to go to the third lane, but I want to be the one leading that third lane. But yeah, you can see right there a little bit of side-to-side motion from the 22.
Yeah.
And then also right behind him, the 68. So yes, you get a little nervous, and that's why you saw some of those guys probably drop to the back here.
It looked like the 22 was really indecisive what to do. Like, he wanted to go up top, and he's kind of like changed his mind.
Yeah, Cards is, he definitely doesn't look like he's super comfortable with where he is in the middle, and I can definitely attest to being in the middle 3 wide is definitely not a comfortable place to be.
No.
And the other thing too that's also interesting about iRacing is even though these are fixed setups, so everybody's running near identical setups here. Actually, as I say, the 22 is actually dropped now. I'm not sure if there's a connection hiccup or what was going on there, but yeah, the 22 not on track anymore, so we'll have to keep an eye and see if that's going to come into play or not. But that's going to square things up a little bit for the moment. As I say, that really shook up the front group. Now, as you can see, everybody's kind of jumbled around trying to get reset up, and then you go back just outside the top 10 or so, and you start to get about a half-second gap. Look at Dave Bingle; he's kind of about a half a second behind Zach Workman. And he's a half a second ahead of Bud Steele here in that 6th car. So he's kind of just in this little awkward spot on his own here. But I do need to mention, as I hadn't brung that up lately, but that group towards the back, though, they are back in it together, though. You see Eric Laurie, he did drop all the way back there. Gabe Butler, JD Crow, Peter DeBorgia, they've all hooked up. They've got back to the main draft. So job done for them. So that is going to bring us back to 27 cars on the lead lap, or on this in the lead pack, I should say. And unfortunately, has something with the 509 though, Charles Sanchez, because he has dropped almost 9 seconds back, completely off on the draft. So definitely troubles for that Allied car here this evening.
Yeah, but I'm looking at the IROC boys who are starting to make a little bit of headway here.
Yeah, they got 2 of the 3 together there, and the one that they have with them, the 37 there. I mean, Keith Horner, he's definitely a good addition to have. I'm not sure if formal teammates or not, but I say definitely formal, informal, whatever it is, that's definitely a car you want to have. But I think we just got our answer, because there he goes. He's going to hop to the top side.
No,
as soon as he does, Les Levy just says, you know what, you guys can try to go to that third lane, and I'm just going to go right by him. And yeah, big move by that 06 of Cody Nichols right in front of the front bumper there of Sebastian Aaron.
Yeah, no friendliness around here.
Oh man, yeah, Sebastian almost, let's say, Cody had to move up there, because otherwise I think Sebastian would have just got into his left rear there. So these guys are pushing hard. I mean, Matt, we're only on 14 coming to 15 now, so I mean, we've still got 50 laps of racing to go here. And yeah, these guys are going at it pretty aggressively here right off the bat. And actually, I'm going to recheck my math there. 60 laps of racing to go. Yeah, these guys are pushing very hard, very early. So, and this is only with these guys running 2x2. We've seen many times ththese guys are able to run 3x3, multiple rows deep. I got dropped back though again, because now it's Bob Fitzgerald in the 08 car. He's fallen off this main pack now by just about a second. So just every so often we just seem to lose a car to the pack. I say, unfortunately didn't catch what happened to Bob there, but unfortunately I say he's going to need some help to be able to get back into this lead pack as well.
I was able to do a little bit of investigation. Looks like he dropped to the apron, just wanted everybody to go by, and it pretty much cost himself the draft here, because he was right in front of the boot knockers. The boot knockers gave him plenty of room to run the bottom, but he elected not to take it. Now he just lost the draft. That's going to hurt him.
Yeah, so the other thing that does too is, unfortunately, even though you're going slower, you can't save any fuel, so your foot is to the floor the whole way around, and just it's what's going on the whole way, unfortunately. So and yes, unfortunately it sounds like Aaron Wisner popped on the chat here on YouTube. Unfortunately, not sure what happened. So it's unfortunate. I say it was good seeing you up front there, but yeah, I say something that hopefully not be a recurring issue for your side there. So but up front though, Matt here, say Sebastian though, like I said, just does not want to stay sitting in the second spot or third. As soon as he gets an opening, jumps to the top, tries to get that push, get right back to the front. So I think he's thinking max points week in and week out right now in that 23.
Mm-hmm. But you don't want to make my birthday a little bit. Yeah, well, actually my birthday was Friday, but thank you for that. I would love to see a first-time winner here tonight.
All right, so Sebastian, if you're listening, you're gonna have to take it down a notch here, buddy, because
Matt wants a first-time winner.
Yeah, we need some first-time winners, or at least maybe even if just somebody that maybe hasn't won in a little while. This Sebastian guy, he wins plenty enough.
I haven't won in a while.
Yeah, you're speaking to the choir there, but
yeah.
No. So right now though, yeah, it's
hey.
But yeah, right now though, I mean, we'll see what's going on, because I mean, like I said, right now he's got the two teammates split up there. You see the purple pink on the outside, BK Anderson. You got Cody Nichols on the inside, and then you got Charles Johnson in between he and the 14 there of Vicente Guerrero. So yeah, right now say they haven't been able to hook up completely yet. Again, I mean, we're still early. I don't think there's too much concern right now. I think, again, this is kind of what we're used to with this league, with this series. These guys really kind of just pride themselves on their pit stops, entry, exit, and just being able to really nail them, and that's where they try to break away from the field. So the strategy will most likely be an attempted two-stop strategy, again, trying to get to at least 25 and 50. And then from there, being able to make the scheduled 75-lap distance. But of course, just to throw that wrench into things, though, say if we ever get that overtime, you never know how much extra fuel you might need in the tank, and that's something these guys always have to keep in the back of their minds.
Looks like Joshua's trying to push for all it's worth, and no.
Yeah, he's actually jumping
to the top.
I'm wondering, Josh might be getting hot, honestly. Like you're saying, he was pushing really hard there on that 06 of Cody Nagels, and I'm wondering maybe just got a little hot. So you know what? I'm going to jump up top, get a little bit of clean air because he immediately jumps right back down in line. So I was about to mention too, he's one of our highest climbers so far this evening right now. About 15 spots. At the time, he's about 20 spots up from where he started. Obviously dropping back just a little bit right now in that 89 car, but again, still so much racing to go, so I don't think that's too big of a concern for these guys. What we'll see though, man, it's probably in the next couple of laps we're going to start to see that outside line start to fizzle out. Everybody's going to try to force their way down to the inside line because it's going to be all about pit stops here soon. And that's going to be where time is going to be gained or lost. And unfortunately, we've seen, I mean, last week was one where we saw, or 2 weeks ago, I should say, just way more mistakes on pit road than we're ever used to seeing from a lot of these drivers here tonight. So I think it just showed how much pressure there was on race number 1 in the playoffs. So hopefully they got those kind of the butterflies shaken off 2 weeks ago. That way they're ready to go here tonight. And I do think that's going to be the next thing we see, Matt, is when we see that pack of cars that have just been kind of on cruise control most of this race. As I go back to about Bud Steele there in that 6 car, that 7-Up machine, Derek Gilroy, I feel like they've just kind of been cruise control from the drop of the green as well. When people start to pit, and if these guys are able to save a lap or two, you're going to see them. That's when they're going to make those big moves, that big charge to the front to try to gain that track position during those in and out laps.
Well, there's actually one car I'm kind of, speaking of the boot knocker, there's one car that I'm really looking at as separated from the boot knocker. That's the 18 of Zach Workman. I know them boys are trying to push him to get his first win here. Could he be one of the contenders to get his first win here?
Say that could be one of your birthday wish drivers there. Say, although there's gonna be a few others say, hey, what about me, man? But yeah, right now, yeah, you're right though. Zach's kind of just in his own little spot here. So he's kind of separated from his teammates, but again, I like where he is though. He's just off of the craziness where things been getting 2-3 wide. He's on the inside, saving plenty of fuel. I think that's honestly just going to help him out because up front it's starting to kick off again. We got that 3x3. Les Levy's trying to get help from the 68 there of David Overstreet, and big shocker to see Keith Horner up there as well, trying to make that third line go.
Mr. 3 wide himself.
As I say, that's Mr. 3 wide, for Keith Horner. But he's actually going to drop the middle, and you see there's the Cody Nagels. He drops to the inside. Able to clear Sebastian Marin, and then we'll jump a little bit further up because now it's BK Anderson who's going to try to see if he can make the charge up here as well. But right now, I say, and that's where Sebastian's goal is going to be, to try to just basically push that 06 as hard as he can to prevent his teammate from sliding in front of them, keep him pinned to the outside, because that's the goal. You got to keep those teammates separated if you can. But I mean, these guys, like you said, Matt, they are pushing like there's 5:10 to go, and we still got what over 2/3 of this race left. Yeah, so you can see it starting to happen now. David Overstreet, he saw what was happening. He's dropped down to the inside in front of the 28 of Dave Bingle. There goes Les Levy. He's dropped down. That leaves us. Oh, no, Cody Nagels turned around on the backstretch here, Matt. And I think Cody's going to, just Cody, the only one going around here. So, unfortunately, with him being off track, it's going to stay under green flag conditions here. And that was right at the absolute front of the field here. Let's take another look at it here as they were coming down the backstretch. So we're watching this 06 here of Cody. And, let's take one more look at it. I say apologies. I was trying to get a better look at it. And it kind of just looks like maybe Sebastian Marin was just a little bit just off-centered from him when they got the push here. You see Cody drift up a little bit. Yeah, Sebastian just got into the left rear there. So it kind of looked like Cody drifted up a little bit, and then just unfortunately kind of met in the middle there. And by far, obviously, Cody getting the worst of that. So he's hit pit road now. And again, this is right coming to the pit stop window. So definitely going to be a huge hit for Cody. Again, one of our playoff contenders as well. So very, very tough start for him for this race here. But again, still lots of racing to go, but he's going to definitely need a break now at this point.
Oh boy, what I miss! I heard a bolt of lightning on my house. Oh boy, yeah, Cody. Oh man.
And saying, here we go, pit road starting to happen. Everybody's sending in on deep here. So you see a few down on the inside. Sebastian Marin just drifts it just off of Vicente Guerrero. Somehow hung on to that car. So it looks like we got about just under 10 cars here hitting pit road. We got BK Anderson leading that group onto pit road. Keith Horner, the last of those, But up front, though, say this is where the strategy is going to change. As I say,
That is a
actually,
yellow.
caution is out.
Oh, wow.
And it may have involved maybe it wasn't Cody Naegels, the 510. Oh, the 46 is involved. So this is going to be interesting that the timing of the yellow, where the drivers were in relation here.
This is going to put Cody Naegels back on the lead lap. He was the first car lap down.
Yeah, this could be the break he was looking for. So let's go back and try to see what happened here. It's going to be just a moment, so we'll try to hunt this down. Because I think it seemed like it involved the 510.
And 46 with Derek Gilray, too, I think. Was it?
Oh, yeah, yep. All right, here we go. So, yeah, you can actually see there's the 510. Everybody's just really bunched up here. So we'll go back a little further, get a better look at it, because it just looks like the inside line just honestly just stacks up. You see, there's Cody just rolling out of pit road after his unscheduled stop. But then if you look just in front, say here's kind of that accordion, and say not sure if there's something else in front that I'm not seeing in my view here. But you see the 510 just nicks the apron there, and you see the 45, the 101, they're just right on top of each other, basically. And unfortunately, that hooks the 46 there as well, of Derek Gilray, and then just right in front of the field. And then, so again, now it's all about trying to make avoiding actions there. Look at the 41 there, Peter DeBorgia. He sneaks on by there. Looks like the 74, Dan Harrington, just squeaks on by as well. And you see Gabe Butler up top. He's just pretty much on the brakes and letting those guys go on by. And then here's Cody Naegels, we talked about, just rolling out of pit road, just had got there. So as you can see, taking no chances there to make sure he doesn't get involved. So yeah, right in the middle of pit stop cycle. So some drivers are going to be a little nervous about fuel here, Matt. Can they coast to make sure they can get to pit road? But yeah, really going to shake up our running order here for kind of who's going to come in, who's not. Maybe just take that little tiny splash of fuel here, but I'm definitely going to see the top about 15 drivers come in. And we'll go check. We're gonna go back and check on Cody Naegels to see, because I believe actually showing Keith Horner possibly as being trapped a lap down as well. But yeah, it looks like indeed it is going to be Cody that's going to swing on by here. We'll see if he lines up behind the pace car, if he's able to kind of clear himself on through. As actually, yep, there it goes right there. It was the 30. Well, everybody keeps stopping behind the pace car, so I'm not feeling super confident about who's the lucky dog right now. For a moment, it looked like it was Keith. For a moment, it looked like it was Cody.
Yeah,
now
curious actually.
Now it's looking like it's Cody, but now you also see the 509 starting to drive by. So a lot of confusion right now as to who might the lucky dog be here. It looks like it is indeed Cody Naegels, and what's going to happen though is, for example, for Keith Horner here, I believe he was able to get out of pit road in front of all the leaders. So if I'm not mistaken, as well, to see where he cycles through, but I think he should get the wave around on the one to go, so that should put him back on the lead lap. So it's all, yeah, everything's all jumbled right now. So we'll step away for just a moment while everything gets cleared up here, and we'll get back to go on the one to go. So stay tuned, everyone. All right, so I think we're getting things just about cleared up. So indeed, it does look like Cody Nagels was the lucky dog. So great break for him to put him back on sequence with everybody and back on the lead lap. Also need to mention, obviously, that the 37 of Keith Horner was also able to get his lap back. And I believe Charles Sanchez was able to go from 2 down to 1 down, which will now leave basically the 08 and the 509 as the drivers battling for the lucky dog, because unfortunately both those drivers still trapped 1 down. But up front, though, Matt, to start this restart is going to be that number 18 of Zach Workman. And pretty much, for the most part, pretty much everybody pitted at lap number 26 under that yellow. A few drivers went ahead and stayed out. Vicente Guerrero being at 24, he went ahead and just stayed put with where he was. So yeah, so for the most part, everybody should be pretty comfortable here to go to the end on one more stop. Of course, that doesn't account for the green-white checkered, so we'll have to see if that comes into play. But right now, though, our front row here, Zach Workman plus 10, second place here. Bud Steele in that 6 car plus 15 spots from his starting position. And then right behind them, then you got Vicente Guerrero, Robert DuPont, and then in row 3, Jay Hilliard and JD Crow. Yeah. Mixing up lanes here. Apologies.
It's all right, you're excused.
It's been a week or so, but
I understand.
But yeah, so here we go though, Matt. So we're gonna restart this thing on lap number 29. Again, still at least one more pit stop to go to the end. And now this is where the 18, he has control, can go as early or late as he chooses. Again, they don't use the restart zone here in iRacing at this point this season. It looks like he's going to wait for that green flag to fly, keep them all bunched together as we get back underway here to start lap number 29. And it actually looks like Keith Horner had to jump back into pit road here, possibly. Not sure if something happened there on the restart or not, but yeah, that 37 car, he's in trouble now as well, Matt. I'm not sure if you were able to see what happened to him, but definitely some sort of a miscue, and unfortunately he is already now way off the pack here. So yeah, some bad luck for Keith there.
He got hit by the 509.
Oh, that's, yeah, we'll say right now, well, if it calms down in a second, we'll go jump back and take a look at it, but say right now we're 3 wide here for just a moment. Vicente's kind of wedged in the middle here between the 07 and the 62. Now it looks like that gets squared back away. Let's go back. Let's take a look at that restart and see if we can find out what exactly happened to Keith Horner here as we get back to speed, as we're coming back to green here. And oh yeah, look at that big accordion stack up there. And oh yeah, you can see he tried to dart out to the right to avoid him, but unfortunately caught the 37 and sent them just straight down into pit road. Unfortunately, the accordion basically just kind of met themselves at the point of the 37 car, and it looks like he's actually on pit road now as well. So it just hasn't been Keith's night so far this evening, unfortunately. But so I'll have to keep an eye on that, see if he's able to recover or not. But right now on pit road. But yeah, right now up front though, 62 Les Levy, he's found his way to the front now with help from Vicente Guerrero. Matt, and then you've got the 5 of JD Crow pushing the 18 of Zach Workman. So if we do have a set of teams working together, okay, I actually got one hitting pit road here. I think that was, that's Dave Bingle, so must have also maybe has a penalty served, and surprising Cody Nagels on pit road as well. Again, these playoffs, the craziness that happens in these races so far with our contenders having to make these unscheduled pit stops, and it's just unfortunate. Again, the 06 something with Cody Nagels, not sure, unfortunate to say, with not having kind of full race control, race command info. Unfortunately, not sure what the cause is here for Cody there. Same thing for Dave Bingle. So really tough break for those guys here. As it looking like a stop and hold for them. So unfortunate for Cody, probably going to drop back a lap again in that 06 car. So he's going to have to do that work all over again. So yeah, just right now that is, we just have a couple drivers that just seems like they just can't buy a break here tonight, Matt.
Yeah, it's pretty unfortunate for him. It's a tough break. Tough pill to swallow, and he's going to have to suck it up. And we know he's talented enough to get his lap back. I know him and his big group will try and help him get back up there. He's in the playoff. He's still in contention, but not out of it.
Yeah,
so he's got over about 45 laps to go.
Yeah, still lots of time to go. Saying he's right now the second car one down right now. Bob
and he
Fitzgerald
does have help behind him.
And that's going to be the big thing. So right now, the driver in the lucky dog position is Bob Fitzgerald, who's right in the thick of this main pack right now. So Bob's in a nice, comfortable spot. And yeah, unfortunately, like you said, or fortunately, I should say, for Cody, he does have Dave Bingle here to help him out, give him a little bit more speed. Because I mean that's going to gain you seconds a lap compared to just being stuck on your own. So, so say Cody's going to have to kind of channel his inner Vicente Guerrero, because I mean we've seen Vicente, he's had to make some big recovery drives lately as well.
Yes.
So he's going to have to kind of lean on his team and say, all right, Vicente, what do you do when you get in these situations? How did you recover? And see, maybe kind of say
strategize.
Not intentional play on words here, Matt, but yeah, kind of one of those see if lightning can strike twice type situations. But hopefully not at your house though.
Yeah, hopefully not at my house. I've actually already had one, like, really super close to my house, and that's why you didn't hear me for a few minutes. Because, yeah, unlike the last time, you remember that? Yeah. That did not go
so if Matt disappears, everyone just know there's some weather in his area. So
yeah,
and obviously Matt, definitely stay safe, and obviously your safety is priority one. We'll manage worst case scenario. But up front though, Jay Hilliard, not a name we've talked about too much lately. I think he hasn't really run with us too much lately, if I'm not mistaken. But he's coming back, and he's coming back strong, and he's making his name heard once again. Here comes now Robert DuPont. We've talked about Robert, been in such close opportunities a lot this season. He's definitely stepped up his game. And now he jumps to the point, getting that big push there from that 5. Now he jumps down low. But in that third lane starting to charge there, Charles Johnson's got Sebastian Marin. He's got the 89 there of Joshua Gathright as well. But here comes that middle lane though, the 5, J.D. Crow, the 82, Dan Harrington. They're going to try to make just the two of them, but they're doing a very stout job here of keeping that momentum up.
Very underrated driver, Daniel Harrington. I really think he has potential. Just needs the friends, as we talked about before, Gael. Can't win without friends.
No, and that's exactly it.
And this man, if this man had a couple more friends, I say he had about 2 or 3 wins. Very talented.
Right now, Robert DuPont leading that inside lane, has a nose ahead of the field. You can see the second and third lane starting to gain a little bit down the backstretch, and then usually that short distance will bring him back forward. You'll probably see, you're probably going to see just a splash there of that Hooters car go by there as he drops the apron to let the leaders by, as they were 3 by 3. So again, very courteous, respectful move there by the 37 of Keith Horner, already having a bad night, but he's still just like, you're frustrated, but at the same time, just the respect these guys give to their fellow competitors. This is definitely top notch. So definitely like to see what you see out of that from someone like Keith. That just, unfortunately though, sometimes being generous winds up biting you, as it has for Keith here. As I believe, unfortunately, he isn't able to hang on to that lead pack draft. So unfortunately, he's going to drop now from 2 down to risking another 3rd lap down if nothing happens between now and the next pit stop.
Remember when we talked about at the beginning of the season how hot J.D. Crow was? Now he's back to the point now.
He's ready to party. So he's got to the front here. We'll see if he can get. I'm not sure if he's led a lap or not yet, but he's definitely going for it here. However, it's going to have
Dan
some
Harrington has other ideas.
Yeah, you got Dan right there. You got Charles Johnson right there. There's definitely people, and yeah, Dan Harrington, definitely other ideas there. It's going to prevent that from happening this time around. And then, Matt, I'm going to go back a couple spots because I'm going to go to my little happy spot of where I'd be racing right now. And that is the 74 Robert Jordan. I love where he is right now in this number 74 machine. He's just off the back. He's easily in the draft, able to run the low line, save fuel. But he's single file, doesn't have to worry about any of the crazy 2-3 wide racing, the big pushes and moves and all that. This is where I like to set my car and just kind of sit and ride and wait till it's really time to go. So this is kind of Robert Jordan's kind of running what I'd be doing right now in that 74 machine.
I am 1,000% with him. He's just got the draft. He's got people behind him in case he would make a mistake. I like where he's at. 100% agree.
Yeah, so then is the only thing he's got to be careful about, though. He's got a fair number of teammates starting to line up not too far behind. We have the 5'10 of Richard Sanchez. You got Todd Siebels is right there, and then you have Derek Gilroy, Gabe Butler, but then another teammate of TW, Randy Miner, Dean Wilkinson. He's starting to work his way up there a little bit as well. Robert Rock's in that mix as well. So he's got some very, very stout teams and drivers behind him, so he's going to probably have to start getting a little more aggressive here soon, because I think he's just about to wind up being in the thick of this thing, because here they come all around him. And also, I really like there also Bob Fitzgerald. He knows he's safely the first car one down right now. Just find a safe little pocket and just ride in right now. I think is definitely the goal for Bob here as well. So let's say definitely some varying strategies going on up front. But what we do have at the front is a lot of movement going on as Sebastian Marin actually, he kind of gets shuffled out to the third lane here. He's going to have to wait for David Overstreet there in that 68 to come up. But I'll say right now, he hasn't been able to get back into that top 2, top 3 that he was enjoying here before that first pit stop as we just crossed the halfway mark.
My apologies for that. My air conditioning just broke.
This has not been your last couple of weeks here, Matt.
No,
first the power, and say now AC going down. So I say you do what you gotta do, man. I completely understand.
I can't win.
But yeah, so right now though it's teammates running 1-2 on the middle and the middle and the inside here. BK Anderson, Vicente Guerrero. And there goes the third lane, though. He knows only a matter of time. And there goes the 89 Joshua Gathright. He's going to try to get that push from that 23 car. And saying, again, if you're going to find someone to push you, that 23 is always a pretty stout option to have. So right now, let's say we've still got about, looks like 23 drivers on track on the lead lap. And we've got about 3 that are 1 lap down. And unfortunately, Keith Horner trapped 2 down as they run. As you see, there goes Vicente. He's going to drop down, pick up his teammate there of BK Anderson. That's going to now allow Charles Johnson a little bit of free roam here in the middle in that number 9 with the 59 that we just talked about earlier of Jay Hilliard, and try to push him now back towards the front here. So, again, talk about mixed strategies. We've got a fair chunk of the TW guys kind of cruising. But say for us that have ran Area 51 plenty of times and have raced with some of these drivers, say Charles Johnson is kind of like a Sebastian Marin. He doesn't like to just sit and ride. He wants to be up there. He wants to be contending, trying to see if he can lead laps and get the win and be in contention here. So I think that's exactly what we're going to see out of that 9 here tonight. And also a great recovery so far for Derek Gilray in that 46 car. Got caught up in that earlier incident. Just unfortunately not of any of his own doing, but he's back up here just right inside the top 10 right there next to the 07 of Robert DuPont. So I say we definitely had some drivers that have had to kind of had their work cut out for them to get back up there. So yeah, so good job by these guys. And I say it's already getting close now. We're probably again about just a little over 10 more laps. I'd say maybe just about 10 more laps here before we start to hit that green flag pit stop window. So you know that's going to be in the back of some of these drivers' minds.
Yep. About 8 more laps.
And then, of course, that doesn't always apply as well. We never know. I mean, you can account for a green, white, checkered, but I mean, you don't know. And so there's been times where drivers will say, you know what, I'm going to plan my strategy, and I'm just going to basically just set it to 75 and hope we stay green because I want the shortest pit stop we possibly can. However, then you have the other drivers that say, you know what, let's go. I say 68 and 62 just about made contact entering 3, and that's unfortunately going to shuffle David Overstreet to that third lane. And he's going to wind up losing a couple of spots here, it looks like, in response to that. But it looks like he's going to have a friend in Joshua Gathright to let him slide right back in there. So not going to lose too much there, but definitely a close moment between those guys. And then, yeah, we talked about some of the other. But, yeah, on the fuel strategy, though, Matt, it's just, yeah, I mean, you never know what's the right choice. Do you want to have a shorter pit stop, maybe try to stretch away from the field, or do you want to have just that little extra in the tank just in case if we do get to that green, white, checkered potential, it maybe prevents you from having to make a pit stop and lose that track position. So there's a lot of just decisions that are hard to have to make, and we'll see what those decisions will be tonight. But I think for most of this field, though, I think it's not going to be not going to be a decision of short pitting or pitting late. It's going to be everybody's going to be pitting again probably within about a 2-lap window just because of the timing of when that caution fell. So I think we'll probably see everybody within about probably around lap 50 to 52 range is my expectation. However, I'm starting to see a few teammates here starting to they were kind of cruising in the back. They're starting to make some moves. That's going to be Gabe Butler and Peter DeBorgia. They're starting to pick up the pace here, picking up that second lane. It's Peter right now pushing Gabe on that second lane. as they've already worked themselves down into the top 15, and we'll see, do they take the momentum and keep going to the top, or do they settle in here at some point? I think, again, they were thinking about saving that fuel early, and now, yep, here they go, going straight to the top. Gabe's just going to lead the charge. Now we wait and see, does somebody decide, you know what, I want to be the one to lead that third lane, but so far, no takers yet, so that one car is just enjoying lots of fresh clean air on that one car with the great momentum help from that number 41 here. And yeah, you knew at some point someone was going to do it, and it's going to be Les Levy. He's going to hop up top there and see if he can make that big push. But actually, look at that. As soon as he hops up there, it looks like the one's going to actually back it down a little bit. Maybe they're just doing a little trial run possibly, because they've actually backed it back down here, and looks like they're starting to kind of roll back a little bit. So maybe a strategy call to say, hey, okay, how hard can we push, and how long does it take to get from, let's say, around 20th to be in that top 10 range? So pretty interesting to see the strategy there by the 41 there, as now right away, almost in unison there, dropping straight to the bottom lane here. So wonder again, we're getting close to the pit window, probably again another 4 laps or so. But yeah, definitely can start to see some strategies, and I think some gamesmanship, if you will, from these guys. Is, oh, Charles Johnson, he's going to get shuffled out to the top here, unfortunately, and he's going to have no help, so he's going to have to wait to fall back in behind that 23 Sebastian Aaron.
And you know what, guy? I'm really surprised. I'm sitting here watching these guys racing. More cars get more down to the bottom. So you got about, how they start shuffling out. Like a couple laps ago, we had about 5, 6, 7, 8, pretty wide.
Yeah, no, I think everybody's getting ready for that pit stop, and so I mean, Vicente and BK, they love life right now. They're cruising on the inside lane. They're right up front. Everything's looking good for them. But I mean, we're looking at the back of Vicente right now. I mean, you can see it's literally a train behind them. You've got 3 drivers right now that have just kind of either are stuck or have committed to that middle lane for the moment. Being Jay Hilliard there, the 46 of Derek Gilray, and then Les Levy there as well in the 62. So those are the only ones right now. And so you got 3 versus about 20 basically. And so again, I mean, that pit window is going to be coming here very shortly, and I think that's what's happening is everybody's getting ready for the pit stop. I do think, though, at some point, those drivers, for instance, especially the ones that topped off on the one to go, pitting around like 26, 27 under that yellow, right. I do think at some point we're going to see a group of drivers make a big, little bobble there as the 82 just touched the apron there. I think we're going to see a group of drivers, though, at some point make that big charge from the maybe mid-pack on the inside line to try to get to the front, maybe run one extra lap of fuel and see if they can, again, just kind of improve where they enter pit road and try to nail that pit entry. So right now, let's say it's kind of that calm before the storm, because, again, everybody's kind of just waiting and waiting, knowing that the pit stops are kind of usually where time is gained and lost here. And so that's kind of the name of the beast with this league here, Matt. It's what a lot of these guys have, they've learned that you can go crazy and full tilt and push pedal to the metal from lap number 1, but right. Usually that strategy, just kind of biding your time and waiting for the right moment to strike, seems to be the way to go a lot of times with these guys. And I think I just saw in the corner of my eye, I think we're starting to see that charge happen right now, and it's going to be that 5-10. Richard Sanchez, Todd Siebels is there. I think it's Randy Miner, Dean Wilkinson. They've picked up that second lane, and they said, okay, we've done our saving. We know leaders are going to be pitting here probably in the next lap or 2. It's go time. So they kicked off probably about 2 laps ago, Matt. They're probably in about the high teens, low 20s, already touching the top 10. Let's see if he jumps to the outside of that 62 of Les Levy or not. So I say this is exactly kind of how I strategize my race. I save early, and then I try to be aggressive late before the pit stops kick off. So, however, it looks like they're pretty content here to sit in that second lane. Maybe wait for the pit stops to actually completely get rolling and then jump on in. So I don't think we'll see anybody in this time around. Indeed, we do not, because right now we're still 26 to go at the line here. So next time by, Matt, will be at 2/3 distance, 25 laps remaining. Even then, I think if you can go longer, I'd say you try to go a little further.
I was kind of looking to see where Cody Nichols at compared to the leaders.
he's been able to team up with another driver as well. Looks like with Keith Horner. So basically, they just coming out of turn number 4 now as he fields down the backstretch. I'm watching right now is that 6 of Bud Steele. He's actually picked up the 3rd lane, and it was about to be a great move, but now he's going to be in a very tough spot because I think that 59 is. Oh, I think the 59 might be either out of fuel or sputtering because look how slow the 59 is going. I think he has to hit pit road here. This is going to get very dicey right now for these guys. We see, here come a couple to hit pit road. And yes, it looks like we got a couple of the teammates there, Vicente Guerrero and BK Anderson, Robert DuPont, and Charles Johnson all hitting pit road. But I want to take a look to see if we can find where that 59 car, Jay Hilliard, he looks like, no, he's still going. He just had to really fight hard to get down low there. But yeah, so now we're going to start to see these guys. So those are the first 4 to kind of to blink. Matt pitting at 25 to go. So again, that gives no margin for green, white checkers. So we know what their game plan is. They want this thing to go green to the end. We'll see now. I'm sure we're going to see a pretty big response because look at how many drivers here are lined up on this inside row. It almost looks like we might get the remainder of the 19 cars here to hit pit road this time.
Yeah, it will be usually when a bunch of cars pit. It may be. Are they coming down?
Oh no, keep it on going.
Wow.
So better
Really?
finish. So different strategies right now. So basically it was a short pit by some of those other guys like Vicente, BK, Robert, and Charles. So they opted. They said, you know what, we're going to short pit here. We're going to pit 1 surrender window. These guys, again, we talk about the green, white checker potential. They're going to go a little further here. So right now we're at 24 to go. So these guys should safely from now be able to make it to the scheduled distance. Of course, like I said, you always want to have a little margin just in case for those green, white checkers. But what I'm surprised to see, though, is nobody's made any big charges to try to kind of pit from further up, which I kind of expected to see from some of the boot knockers, like the 1 and the 41 and some of those guys, and also some of the TW guys. Actually, as soon as I say that, here comes a few. Actually, looks like Sebastian Marin. He's going to lead the field on this group, I should say, on the pit road. Oh, a little bit of contact a little further back there. The 101, the 45, the 68, the 47. That is going to include a couple of our playoff contenders there with Todd Siebel's, unfortunately, getting a piece. Oh, the 74 gets another shot there. Just unfortunate, This pit stop just going completely wrong for a handful of guys here. And so now that's going to leave us 8 drivers left to make their scheduled pit stop here, Matt, with Dan Harrington continuing to lead the way in that number 82 machine. And then, like you mentioned, some of the boot knockers there with Gabe Butler, Eric Laurie, Peter DeBorgia, all right there as well. So I think probably this time around we will most likely see our last set of drivers hitting pit road. And unfortunately, we'll have some pit penalties here, it looks like, for Les Levy, I believe.
Yeah.
And I believe Randy Minor. And yep, here they come onto pit road. Ooh, it was a little possibly hot for the 18 of Zach Workman. Hopefully got it woed down in time, so we'll have to keep it on his pit stop. So that will be the remainder 8 drivers that needed to hit pit road. And see, Bud Steele shaking his car around. I think he ran that thing to the absolute edge of his tank there, so he probably had to coast a little bit there. That could be dangerous for him, risking losing the pack and losing the draft here, because for those that did pit, here they go. You see Vicente Guerrero, BK Anderson, the 07 there, Robert DuPont, Charles Johnson, they're swinging right on by Sebastian Marin, who pitted 1 lap later. So next is going to be watching those other cars behind them. And indeed, unfortunately, those guys have left Bud Steele just a little bit behind. It's going to be Gabe Butler who's going to win the race out of pit road for his group. But look at these guys already gone. Those top 3. Oh no, I'm sorry. Those are cars that are tailing the lap. I apologize. I saw the IROC car and I kind of got ahead of myself there. But they're going to come out right about even with these guys. But I think momentum is going to shift into the favor of DK and Vicente here. So we'll keep an eye on them because here comes a huge group here working on that number 1 car now.
Looks like Joshua got a black flag. Oh boy.
Yeah, possibly an unsafe pit exit for that 82 or 89. I'm sorry, as he's rolled out onto pit road, and at the line, Vicente Guerrero is going to lead that lap. And now I was going to say, hadn't been able to clear. Now clears the one on Gabe Butler. And I'll say now Gabe's probably at the point now where he can't really afford to just sit and ride here. And again, you see Sebastian Marin trying to run that 3rd lane, just hasn't had any help to go with him, so he's just still kind of stuck and pinned up there. But you can see, though, the playoff drivers are starting to kind of just slowly but surely kind of climb back up here. So you got the top 2, 7th and 8th, and then 12th and 13th in this lead pack right now. So you've got about, what, 6 of the 8 drivers right now sitting in that top 13. Unfortunately, we mentioned some of those drivers that did not fare well. First with the pit stop was that 45 of Todd Siebel's. He's got some help, but unfortunately he needs a lot of help to get back up there. We just saw right now one of our other playoff drivers there, Cody Nagels. He's just now rolling onto pit road for his pit stop. So again, just unfortunately, luck has not gone his way in that number 06. So
wow.
Oh, and yeah, I think we just missed a little bit something up front there.
What a push by Zach Workman with on Gabe Butler there to get him the lead.
Yeah, I'll say they were going around a lap car there. I think that was Les Levy, and I believe, I'm looking at pit stop times, yeah, we did have some penalties, unfortunately, for Les Levy and Robert Jordan. They both had to serve a penalty. It looks like, I believe, Dean Wilkinson as well, along with Randy Miner. So we saw that big group of cars pitting. We saw those guys kind of, unfortunately, getting into one another, and it really hurt a lot of their nights, unfortunately. So like we mentioned, though, we still have 6 of the 8 playoff drivers in this main draft right now. So still a lot of opportunities for points here to try to climb back up there. As look at BK Anderson, actually, he's going to jump to the top here. A little surprised about this move by BK here. Unless, yeah, I'm saying maybe it's something, maybe fuel's not right, or yeah, I'm not sure here. He's going to get tagged onto the back of pretty quickly here by the Vicente, or sorry, not Vicente, Sebastian Marin. I was thinking maybe he was trying to find Vicente possibly to try to get lined up with his teammate, but yeah, kind of an interesting call there. And with all that's happened, move Robert DuPont's now to the front in that 07 car. Charles Johnson now going to lead that middle lane. And so, yeah, everybody's starting to kind of jump around, jockey around a little bit here. But again, still lots of time to go. It's going to be 18 still to go at the line. As right now you got 2 TW guys leading the middle lane. And you got a bunch of the boot knockers trying to get lined up together. Just haven't quite fully organized yet. But and then here comes that 46, Derek Gilray. He'll say, again, great recovery for him after getting involved in an incident not of his doing. And yeah, it looks like, I think Vicente and BK are trying to get hooked on together here, just haven't quite made it happen. But here it goes Peter Borgia. He's going to jump top to the 3rd lane. I'm saying this might be an opportunity for Vicente to jump up top in front of BK as well.
I don't think that 3rd lane's going to work as good. You're going to have some more coming. Well, as soon as I say it, like I said, I've been opening my mouth too early today. I got more people trying to go in the 3rd lane now.
Yeah, and that's all it is once it makes a little bit of progress, everybody starts to get tempted and go with it. And I mean, you've got 2 teammates lined up top there with Peter Borgia and BB Pro. So, and then, yeah, now you see Sebastian Marin. He's joined this mix as well. So that's definitely a stout 3 to have with one another here. And you see Gabe Butler, actually, he's found his way to the middle lane in front of Charles Johnson. So, yeah, you've got a good number of the teammates here all lined up together. You talked about the 18 of Zach Workman. He's right there pushing Robert DuPont. So, like I said, we've got 15 drivers right now in this lead pack here that are vying for the win here in potentially 16 laps. Again, that's 16 laps for these guys to try to keep doing what they're doing here, Matt, and running 3x3.
Close there. I said there's a little bit of a connection issue with Sebastian there.
Yeah, I've noticed a few cars have a little bit of hiccups here and there with their connections. Sebastian, you mentioned recently, just had one. I think I saw Gabe Butler have a little hiccup earlier, and I think you see right there, Sebastian, he's actually rolled out to kind of a little bit of a safe spot because it's just, you don't want to risk having something like that happen in the middle of the track. So, again, I mean, we talked earlier this race about how Sebastian wants to be up front, leading and kind of controlling his race as best as he can. As just for a moment looked like we're about to go 4 wide there, but I'll say in this instance, though, with that connection hiccup he opted to go ahead and jump out a little bit of the way there, let things kind of settle back in, and then we'll definitely see him make another charge. So again, talk about the respect and just the way these guys race with one another, and when things aren't going perfectly. It's really cool to see. But right now, Peter Borgia, look at that, top to bottom, no hesitation. He knew exactly how much space he has. He jumps in front of Gabe and in front of Robert DuPont there, and he takes over the point down on that inside line. Now you're going to have 3 teammates here leading these 3. Oh, look at that, though. Robert DuPont actually going to have none of it, moving Peter Borgia back up to the top here. So now Robert's going to try to charge that inside line back once more.
I think Peter noticed that the inside line was starting to get more of a move there, and then decided to go up top, which is actually a pretty smart play.
Right now, I mean, all 3 lines look very, very equal. The general consensus is usually, yeah, the middle to outside lanes are better to try to win the race because you just seem to pick up more momentum at the end. However, tonight, to me, it seems like I think all 3 it really just depends on the pushers that you've had. And right now, Zach Workman, he's doing a really good job of helping that 07 of Robert DuPont keep him right in the center of this thing. And then again, I mean, at some point, what I like about being on the inside line, of course, is if something's going to happen, you've at least got one side where you're a little bit safer than the middle and the outside. So that being said, of course, say you see, oh, Robert DuPont just about squeezed into the 1 car there in 3 and 4, as Peter Borgia was just able to sneak in front in that 41.
Well, just under 14 laps to go. We're 3 by 3.
Yeah, right now it's honestly anybody's guess, but what Peter did, though, is he was able to do a good job to find his way back clear of the 07 Robert DuPont. And like I said, right now, I mean, we talk about how selfless these teammates are, and basically a win for one of them is a win for all of them. Mm-hmm. And at the moment, I'm going to say that, and it's going to change, of course, because that's just the way this racing goes. But they have a driver leading each of the lanes right now. So you've got the 41 leading, and as I said, that contact.
God, Gabe Butler just got turned by the 9.
Right in the middle of the field here, and yeah, you can see the drivers trying to all get around it. The 41 definitely significant damage there to Peter. I'll have to check to see on some of the other cars as well. But yeah, it looked like just so we'll go back, we'll take a closer look at it, but that's going to bring out the yellow. That's going to also save a lot of drivers' races tonight who are out of the draft. And say, oh, you see Bob Fitzgerald, Robert DuPont in the 07, that car, unfortunate front clip gone. So now it's all about fast repair timeout. Do they still have one in store? Do they use it? And then, of course, this is probably a good time to also think about putting maybe a splash of fuel if you need it. So let's go back. Let's take a look and see what happened, as it unfortunately was right at the absolute front of the field here. We're going to focus first on the one of Gabe Butler as they were going down the backstretch here. And we're going to slow it down. Yeah, right there you see Charles was looking low. I don't know if Gabe was kind of just going that way on his own, or if he was trying to maybe protect it. I mean, again, it's hard for us to say. And then unfortunately, just you see there, Vicente Guerrero, the 18, gets involved. And then a little bit further up there, a few more drivers getting a pretty solid piece of it as well. So I think some of these guys may have actually gotten through a little better than I honestly originally anticipated there. As you see, yeah, there's the 18 getting a good piece of it as well there. But Jay Hilliard may have done a little bit of off-roading to avoid some of that. And then I'm also was looking at, what was the other driver I was looking at? There's the 82 of Dan Harrington. He's got a little bit of center punch in the rear end, unfortunately. So let's jump back live, though. But unfortunately, yeah, so right in the middle of the field, the contact happens. And pretty much we have most of the field here hitting pit road here, Matt. Looks like we're going to have about 5 or 6 stay out. Again, lots of fast repairs going to be taken here. You see the 07 using his. I see Charles Johnson on pit road. Gabe Butler, he's hitting pit road. Looks like, yep, there goes fast repair for that car. Looks like some tires as well. But we are going to have, it looks like, 6 drivers stay out, which are going to include Derek Gilray, Sebastian Marin, Vicente Guerrero, BK Anderson, Dan Harrington, and David Overstreet. So those, and actually, I'm sorry, it looks like Bud Steele as well. Let's see where Bud cycles through officially. And do need to mention Les Levy, beneficiary of that caution. He jumps back onto the lead lap, so that's going to bring us back to 20 drivers. Unfortunately, with some of those drivers that opted to stay out, that's not going to be the break that Cody Nagels was looking for, as he was hoping to maybe try to get the wave around that way. And I say, you see right there, taking out a little bit of frustration there on the innocent blue cone there. So, and he's going to have to try to get around that car in front of him of Dave Bingle. Also, Dean Wilkinson is also trapped one down. So he's going to have some drivers to have to fight with to try to get that lucky dog should he get another opportunity. So anyway, while we have a moment, we'll take a break because say we're gonna have to get ready because we're gonna have a lot of chaos here going on this final restart here with 10 to go. So stay tuned; it's gonna be exciting, and hopefully we'll have a great finish here in just a little bit. So stay tuned, all. Alright, so say lights are off the pace car. Matt's going to go try to take a look, see if he can figure out what's going on with his air conditioning while he has a split second. But we're going to restart this thing with under 10 to go, 9 laps to go on this restart. And again, it's all shaken up here. So we got some strategy here now. We've got the top 7, I'm sorry, drivers that stayed out under this caution. And then from 8th on back, went ahead and hit pit road either for some tires, for some fuel, for some fast repairs. And so it's going to be interesting here. We're going to have 20 drivers on the lead lap vying for the win. Again, we've got a handful of drivers trapped a lap down. We mentioned Dave Bingle, Dean Wilkinson, Cody Nagels, Bob Fitzgerald, Randy Miner, Robert Jordan. That's going to be a fight within itself because if there's a late caution, they want to be the first car that isn't involved. That way they can have a chance back after this race. And obviously the most notable of those is going to be Cody Nagels, as unfortunately we mentioned with his earlier incident being off of the lead lap there. So you see Dan Harrington, that car's center punched in the back. He doesn't care. As long as that front end is clean, he's ready to roll. So up front, though, so you got teammates lined up in row number 2 with Vicente Guerrero and BK Anderson. You got Sebastian Marin lining up next to Derek Gilray in that 46. And then you got the 82 we just mentioned of Dan Harrington. And then right next to him, David Overstreet in that 68. So I say got some supporters of David Overstreet from Man Outdoors. So definitely appreciate you guys watching here and enjoying it. I say hopefully you'll be able to cheer on David to a solid result here tonight. I'm not going to say anything because I have a tendency for a commentator's curse. However, this restart is in the hands of that 46. As soon as he wants to, he can go. No restart zone as of yet this season. There he goes a little bit early. And look at that. You can see builds a big gap right away. So we'll see, is that too big of a gap? But it's also going to force these other guys to try to have to react and get back after it. So now for Derek Gilray, he's going to have to watch his mirrors here. So you can look at those teammates. They fought hard there to get lined up together. Vicente and BK. They've lined up as they start to go through the gears. And Sebastian Marin slowly but surely going to gain. We'll probably see him jump to the top as soon as he does. Yep, there he goes. He's going to jump to the top. That's going to keep Dan Harrington pinned behind. And unfortunately, that early jump didn't quite pan out. As look at that, though. Sebastian Marin just getting picked on here by those two teammates of Vicente Guerrero and BK Anderson. Go right on by. They get to the point. And look at Bud Steele. He's making some moves now in the middle, trying to see if he can get himself up into that third spot. Here comes Charles Johnson back into the mix. And look at these guys. They're jumping left, right, anywhere they can go. But you can see, though, that field definitely is very split up here. So there's going to be some drivers having to make some charges and get that momentum built back up to even have a chance to win this thing if we stay in the green, as we got 8 to go. Right now we got teammates lined up on the inside. So I wouldn't say formal teammates, but definitely good friends lined up on that second row with the 6 and the 9, Charles Johnson, Bud Steele. And then third lane, Zach Workman. He's got help from that 23 of Sebastian Marin. And then here comes JD Crow. He's getting back into the mix. The 07's coming back in here. Gabe Butler's coming back into this. So it is still all to play for with this one. Again, still 7, just under 7, over 7 to go. And right now, definitely looking good though for BK and Vicente right now, running strong on that inside line. But man, that second line is starting to form. And look at JD Crow, got the momentum. Joe jumps to the top, and 07 actually got into the side of Zach Workman there. Zach somehow hangs onto that car, but loses a lot of momentum, unfortunately. And ooh, a big move there by JD to squeeze right in front of the 07 car. And unfortunately, Zach's going to have to try to regroup and gather it all back up. But look at the momentum behind him, as one of those cars in that group is actually just ran the fastest lap of the race, that 89 of Joshua Gathright. That's how much momentum these guys are starting to build up here. So it's all to play for. But up front, it's Bud Steele just a nose ahead as they enter turn number 3. Matt, coming to 6 to go.
Ooh, I say, well, Team IROC is right in the catbird seat right now.
They're looking good. I like where they are there. They're lined up nicely together. They've got some good help, obviously, right behind as well with that 46 and the 82. And we've got some big pushing going on. Look at on the outside, the 5, the 23, the 1. They're starting to make a big charge there. And they know that they have to get further up the running order because, as I say, the 07 and 82, they start to squeeze each other in turn number 1. Everybody's starting to pinch and squeeze a little bit more, Matt, so it's getting tight, it's getting hectic, but you're right, though. At the moment, Vicente and BK are probably in a fairly safe, not safe, I shouldn't say, but a fairly happy spot with where they are. But these drivers always love to claim that they want to be in that second and third lanes to try to win these races. And as soon as I say that, look at JD Crow, top to bottom, somehow clears all 3 lanes and goes straight to the point.
That is just crazy. Wow. What a move.
That's a big move and a big push by Sebastian Marin. So now the question is for JD, does he stay on this inside line or does he try to work the lanes? Does he see if does the 6 have momentum? Does he jump up in front? Right now the answer is no, as we've got 5 to go here, as now Sebastian Marin leading that third lane.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say, look at that third lane. They might have momentum going down the back straight here.
I mean, we're 3 by 3, 5 rows deep at the moment. It's about to be 7 rows deep, it looks like. So I'm seeing a few more drivers starting to peek into the party here as well. But again, though, they got to be careful. You can only push for so long, as Sebastian makes a big move to the middle. He jumps in front of Bud Steele there in the 6. He can clear to the bottom, but I don't think he wants to because, again, I think some of these drivers know your best bet is probably that middle or third lane. So unfortunately, Bud Steele feels like he's probably just like pinched in the middle here with nowhere to go. As we're going to come around this time to 4 to go at the line right now. It's JD Crow, Sebastian Marin, and Gabe Butler are the ones leading these 3 lanes here as we got 4 to go at the line.
Well, we got to tell 2 races here. We've got 2 lap down cars in case a caution does come out.
A little bit of contact between the
1 and the
6.
2 days. I'm a bad thing for saying
they're
words.
hanging on to it. They're hanging on to it. Oh, no, there's the contact right behind the 1. It looks like Robert DuPont, I believe. Oh, big hit for Robert there. The 89. Joshua Gathwright's involved as well. And yeah, it was just kind of that, kind of the accordion effect, if you will, there, Matt, it looked like. You see the 59 involved as well. Dan Harrington also. So he went from a Bastion rear bumper to having none at all. There, no TV panel on it. And also you see there the 06 Cody Nagel spun as well. So unfortunately, being involved in it, quote unquote, means he wouldn't be eligible for that wave around.
Cody did not get involved in that one.
I think
he had that avoided.
We'll go back. We'll take a look. But let's go back and take a look at the incident as it was right up front, right around the 1 of Gabe Butler. So we saw the initial contact with he and Bud Steele there. And then from there, I think it just kind of just threw that car off a little bit. It took him a little bit to kind of gather things back up. But then you can see right here, it's just tight racing, really. It looks like the 1 and the 07 just kind of going for the same real estate, unfortunately. I mean, that's plate racing with 4 to go, 3 to go. As you can see here, here's the in front of the field here where everybody's just trying to find a way through. That's for the 59. Thought he was cleared. He gets caught in the left rear, and gets sent around. Look at Zach Workman. We'll have to go back and watch that 18 car because what a job he's able to do. Same thing for the 68 David Overstreet. Great job by those 2 guys to somehow find a way to pick it through. We'll have to see who's able to be the beneficiary of that caution. So unfortunately, though, further back, though, a lot of drivers you can see involved in there. And you see, actually, it looks like Peter DeBourge able to just kind of just pick his way through as well there. Let's go back one more time here. Actually, we will watch from David Overstreet's point of view on this one, because I think he was right in the thick of it. We're going to do that. Yeah, I mean, he almost didn't have a chance to react, basically. We'll do one more now with Zach Workman. Take a look from his point of view here in that 18, right behind David Overstreet, actually. Probably pretty similar. You can see the siding. What do you do? Just go left as quick as he can, try to grab and go back to the right, and able to get through and survive to fight another day here and have a chance to win this race. So we'll jump back live, and Matt, you are spot on here, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Cody Nagel's channeling his inner Vicente Guerrero and is going to get a late lucky dog to get back onto the lead lap. Again, he is one of our playoff contenders. This is huge for Cody, because again, this is going to be green white checker attempt number 1, Matt. We have the option of going to all 3 if we need to, and so for those who may not be familiar with it, lap 75 was our scheduled distance. We're going to be going past that, so this is going to be attempt number 1, and basically if they get to the white flag on this attempt, from that point on, all bets are off. It's who gets to the flag first. However, if there's a caution that comes out before the leader gets to the white flag, it doesn't matter if it's in the trial, if it's turn 1 or wherever it is. They'll rack them up and they will do at least 2 more, or they will do 2 attempts if needed. However, on the 3rd attempt, if there's a caution, at that point the field will be frozen at the time of the yellow, and that will be our finishing position. So for Cody, selfishly, he might be rooting for a couple of green white checkers here, Matt, because he's going to need some opportunities to try to climb back up there. But watch that 06. He's going to be making moves. He knows that he's got real. Honestly, I mean, he's kind of playing with dealer money now, if you know what I mean, because now he's already had incident points, so that's already gone. So it's like, well, time to go get what I can get. So he's going to be competing though with some pretty stout drivers though, like JD Crow, Vicente Guerrero, Sebastian Marin. But I do have a little bit of nerves now though, Matt. Vicente Guerrero, he last pitted on lap 50. Sebastian Marin 52, BK Anderson 50, Bud Steele 53, Derek Gilray 52. So they're a little tight on fuel here for those drivers. They can probably go 1, maybe 2. Can they go all 3 if they need to? I'm not sure. JD Crow, he pitted at 64. He is golden. He should have no problem on fuel. Same for Gabe Butler, Charles Johnson. So this is going to get interesting here. And again, will the team actually look at this? Look at what we're going to have here. We're going to have teammates Vicente Guerrero and BK Anderson lining up next to each other on that outside. So that's just going to work out perfectly for these guys. Try to see if they can get that teammate, try to get a 1-2 finish for these teammates here as we get the lights off on the pace car, as we get ready for a 1 to go.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say before that caution came up, before my my bad commentary. I kind of tend to jinx things like too much. I sometimes just need to keep my mouth shut. But,
that's a requirement for employment at Green White Checker TV, Matt. So actually, just so you know.
But it was a really good dogfight between Cody Nagel's the 20 of Dane Bingle and the 55 of Dean Wilkinson, fighting, trying to be that first car lap down. And I look at the decision making of Cody Nagel's, which was the absolute right decision to back her down a little bit and not be involved in that.
And that's exactly it, Matt. It's just you have to kind of pick your battles, and on this occasion, it worked out perfectly for Cody because I mean he was up against 4 or 5 other drivers there. You mentioned Dave, Dean, Randy,
yeah, they
Robert,
were all
Bob.
there.
I mean and that's why it's that big of a fight for them, because you don't know if and when it's going to happen, and you got to get through clean. So so definitely a great job by Cody. Again, I mean, this could be a playoff saving move that he did there to get back into the lead lap there. So. Definitely try to. We'll say he's going to restart in 20th here, Matt. 19th here. So I'll have to see where he finishes out the race after it's all said and done, because that's definitely going to be a big storyline for us through the remainder of the playoffs here. So, however, up front, we talk about playoffs. Look at this: 1st, 2nd, 4th, 7th, and 9th. We have playoff drivers all in the top 10 right there. But will we see any spoilers here tonight? So,
well, I really hate to be a spoiler. Okay. JD Crow is the only playoff contender that has his 0x race right now.
All right, all JD Crow hate mail to Matt Wagner. I will send you his address after the race. As waiting for that green flag to fly. Looks like JD's going to keep these guys bunched up. Saw what happened earlier to that number 46. Went a little early and didn't pan out for him. So they're going to keep it bunched up as we get back to green here. Again, green, white, checkered attempt number 1. So we're going to get 2 laps to go here. And already look at getting through the gears. That 14.32 looking really strong, but they've separated themselves from that 46 of Derek Gilroy just a little bit. The inside line is going to have a few more cars here. We'll see which lane has the momentum coming out of turn number 2.
Yeah, it looks like the RF boys are a little bit power. Well, looks like they gained a little bit of momentum going down the back straight.
Yeah, the 46 got up to him. Gabe Butler, he's going straight to the top in that number 1 machine. He's trying to find some help there. He's picked up the 45 of Todd Siebels. Todd's doing what Todd does best and waiting until the right time to make his big charge. And he decided now is the time to get after there. Peter DeBorgia, he's going to jump up there. Joshua Gathright, looks like Dan Harrington. They're all going after right here. So, again, we talked about can they get to it on one attempt. And right now it's looking likely,
look at the white flag.
Yeah, white flag is waving, and they are through. We are 1 to go here, so 1 attempt of green, white, checkered. Will it be Vicente Guerrero? Will it be JD Crow? Can Gabe Butler get a late charge up there? Or can someone spoil the party? Maybe the 46 of Derek Gilroy can clear the one jump up top, but I say right now, though, these guys...
Look at Bud Steele. Look at Bud Steele, the 3rd car in line. Look at Gabe Butler on the 3rd lane. He's got help from Todd Siebels.
Yeah, they're making a big charge here.
Yeah, we haven't talked about Todd Siebels all race.
That's a Todd Siebels race. That's just what he does. So at this point, these guys, their gauges might be blinking, Matt. They don't care. Look at everybody squeeze. Oh, Todd Siebels.
Ooh, Todd, no!
Oh, big wreck in the back. Derek Gilroy goes flying through the air. But again, white flag. So at this point, all bets are off. It's just who can get to line first. Right now, it's JD Crow just by a nose. And it looks like it's going to stay that way. JD Crow going to get the win. The battle's going to be for second, and I believe it's going to be Sebastian Marin over Vicente Guerrero.
Right, 2,000th of a second.
Yeah, it was definitely in so close there. And then in BK Anderson, Bud Steele, top 5. And then, unfortunately, that big wreck at the end really hurt a couple of our playoff contenders there. Peter DeBorgia is just trying to limp that thing back to the finish line. Same thing for Todd Siebels there for, looks like, 16th and 17th. And then looking to see, trying to see where we talked about. So we talked about Cody Nagel's Matt restarting in 19th. He was able to bring it home in 13th position, it looks like, in that 06 car. So let's go back. Let's go look at that wild wreck there on the final lap because, oh my goodness, that was something else.
Wow.
And
yeah, I know it.
So unfortunately, the one that got the worst out of that one is going to be the 46 of Derek Gilroy. So you see there's a little bit of a bobble. I think the 41 tries to maybe fill the gap there. But then here's the 46 car, catches the wall, and then he's just along for the ride here. So some pretty good hang time there for the 46. And actually, I think went so far off track, actually got thrown out of the off and back into the pits there. So yeah, just heartbreaker there, but for him, was in a great spot all night long. So we got some drivers to chat with, Matt, but before we do that, let's pull up our final results, as it's going to be JD Crow getting the win over Sebastian Marin and Vicente Guerrero. And like you said, 0.003 of a second was the difference between Sebastian and Vicente. BK Anderson getting a 4th, Bud Steele rounding out our top 5. And then you got David Overstreet, Gabe Butler, Zach Workman, Les Levy, and Joshua Gathright rounding out our top 10. And then Jay Hilliard, Eric Laurie, Cody Nagels, Robert Rock, Dan Harrington, our top 15. And then our last 2 on the lead lap made it, let's say, not the way they wanted to end their nights, unfortunately, for Todd Siebels, Peter DeBorgia there in 16th and 17th. And then drivers a lap or more down. And say we saw Derek Gilroy, unfortunately, his flight through the air there finishes in 18th. And then 19th, you've got Charles Johnson, Bob Fitzgerald, Robert Jordan, Dean Wilkinson, Randy Miner, Dave Bingle, Keith Horner, Robert DuPont, Richard Sanchez, and Charles Sanchez. And then, unfortunately, our last 2 finishers of Aaron Wisner and Paul Sheldon in 30th. All right, with that craziness, Matt, let's find some drivers to chat with. And we're going to kick it off with our 3rd place finisher of Vicente Guerrero. So let's go ahead and hunt that Vicente on down over here. All right, so we're going to pull Vicente on in. And It was looking pretty good there, Vicente. You got your teammate. You guys were lined up on that final restart on the outside line. Unfortunately, tonight it was your teammate there of Cody Nagels. He had to kind of pull a Vicente and have to make a tough recovery after getting just unfortunate, just wrong place, wrong time with an incident there. But man, I mean, you and BK, when you guys see that last restart, you say, okay, we're both up top, lined up together. I mean, is that about the best you could have hoped for a final restart with you and your teammate?
Yeah, I say that was pretty good. JD had Sebastian. I had BK. I think I don't know who was out there. Gabe and Bud probably on the outside. It was pretty good.
I mean, it worked us. I mean, you obviously had a good shot at it. It was obviously a very eventful one tonight. Once again, I say these. I don't know if it's the playoffs or what it's been, but I mean, just things have just kind of just skyrocketed. It seems like once the playoffs took off, with just championship contenders getting involved in things and having to recover. And I mean, was and saying, and then also, of course, the other side of that is, I say, the your guys' IROC cars. You got some manufacturers changes. So say was GM just not giving you the support you needed tonight or in the previous weeks to switch over to the Toyotas?
We normally run the Toyotas, and they to us. I mean, if we're running Chevy and Toyota, they don't really quite match up together. So we thought just run the Toyotas. Cody, actually, I want to thank him. He came up with the Toyota paint scheme for these paint schemes here. So that was a pretty good job to throw it on a Toyota.
No, no, they're great looking cars, and yeah, I love the concept behind them. So yeah, so like I said, selfishly, I kind of want you guys to build your team up more so we can see more of them. Because yeah, I definitely enjoy
Yeah.
what you guys have been able to do with them. I saying so on the championship side of things, obviously, 2 weeks ago didn't quite go the way you're hoping for, obviously. But and saying it's so hard. It's only 4 race playoff, and so it's like you look at your results, like okay, great, I got a top three, and then you're like second, first, or playoff two. I mean, how do you kind of balance the like it's just like hey, at least I still got a good result and just let the next two bring what they may? Or I mean, how do you kind of process the playoff side of these things?
Well, actually, you know, uh, I just wanted to get a really good finish tonight because unfortunately I'm gonna take off for a vacation. I'm probably gonna miss the last two races playoffs. So I just really was mindset. I was mindset to do a good finish tonight and just go from there, I guess. But I feel bad for Cody. I mean, he got caught up in that wreck, and then I think he got a black flag or something. You know, uh, I just wish maybe there was some soft black flags cleared. There's some, especially for playoff guys. I think I was caught up in an incident from last week on Thursday
Oh yeah,
where
yeah.
I was punting along, and then I was going like 95 miles per hour, and I was EOL'd, and then I was given a black flag for somebody that couldn't keep up, with me. I mean, I really wish maybe, there was some soft black clears or something.
Yeah, I mean,
But
that's
it
and
is
that's
what
I'm sure that's something that always. I mean, I'm usually feel like the admins are usually pretty open to suggestions and stuff. I know there's usually a little hesitancy of making changes mid season and stuff like that. But
right.
say good news, bad news. I'll say we're only 2 races away from the off season, which again you kind of blink and it feels like yeah you kind of just started the season. But yeah, I'll say if you can't find a stunt double or something like that to run your car the next couple of races, definitely hope you have a very enjoyable vacation. So I know sometimes those are hard to come by as well, so definitely enjoy your time, and just enjoy your time away from real life. But before we let you get to doing any of that, though, we definitely want to give you the floor here for any thanks and shouts for that third place tonight.
Well, I want to give out shout out to Luminous race team. I think we do good. We're a good little group. BK and Cody and always I want to give out shout out to you guys for broadcasting. I really enjoy the way you guys broadcast your deal. Uh, I really enjoy that the way you guys announce it, broadcast it. Keep what's going on on the racetrack. Like you kind of predict what's going on, who's gonna make a move and stuff like that. So I really like that.
No,
Area 51, I really enjoy racing with Area 51. Uh, I think they're like one of my top leagues that I really enjoy racing with. Everybody's really clean, really good race car drivers here. And when I get a podium here, it feels really good. I feel really good to get a podium because I know I'm competing with basically the best here. So
Yeah, it's definitely a very tough league for sure to be competing with. So, I definitely really appreciate the kind words as well, Vicente. Yeah, it's a pleasure to do these things with you guys. Let's say you guys have made it a lot of fun, and same thing, made a lot of friends and good acquaintances and stuff like that. To say that always you love to be able to carry on to other series and leagues and even other things outside of iRacing. So, yeah, just a great job tonight, man. It was definitely a lot of fun watching you up there. Like I said, you gave it your all, and you're right there. So great job tonight, man, and looking forward to well, I guess we'll see you next season. But selfishly, yeah, like I said, we'll work on finding your stunt double. See if we maybe BK can put on a wig or something for you.
right, that'll be good.
All right, man. Congrats again, Vicente, for that top three, and looking forward to see what you got though for these guys the rest of the season or next season, that is.
All right, see you guys.
All right, so we're going to switch from our third place finisher to our runner up. That is going to be the number 23 of Sebastian Marin. And man, it looked like you, I don't know, did you I feel like you maybe made some people mad today or something, Sebastian, because these guys were working you hard pretty much tonight. It's like kind of sticking you up top three wide a bunch, kind of faking you out like, okay, yeah, we're going to go up top. And then all of a sudden, you kind of, you lose the helper you had. And I mean, just take us through the race and what you had to do to just get yourself in position at the end of this thing tonight.
Yeah, I felt like I was racing by myself out there. Didn't feel like I had many friends. Of course, I wasn't in the Discord with the boot knockers like I usually am. I was with my friend Steve, as you know, because he really wants and likes watching these races. So I kind of stay with him from time to time, so he could see it. So I was kind of racing with myself. So I mean, to be fair, that's probably why nobody was really working with me, because they probably knew I was by myself. And yeah, it felt like a tough race. Turned Cody there, which it was a clear accident. He kept like making slight moves to the middle every time that I got almost cleared to BK. And I thought he was going to go middle because I was going to clear BK. And when he moved up the slide bit, I'm like, oh, I think he's committed going to the middle. I didn't lift and I turned him. And then after that, yeah, just trying to get out front. A lot of people were kind of riding, didn't want to go three wide. And then when they did, nobody wanted to work with me. And then they let me fall back, and then they'd go up there, and then I'd pay them back and not help them. So we weren't helping each other. And then just avoided, that last wreck, I believe, with Gabe making a block. Somehow managed to get through that with no damage. Found myself second, and yeah, I was trying to block their Vicente because I knew he had BK behind him, so I knew they were going to split me. And Vicente put a really good move on me, faking high and then going in between. And then after that, the next yellow, starting third, I kind of knew that's where I was going to finish, second, third, or depending where the third lane was going to be. Because on these green white checkers, you can basically just push flat out and the engine won't blow, right? Like you'll blow immediately after. So all three lanes kind of become locked in a sense. So I kind of knew either if he went early or someone made a mistake, that's where I was going to finish. So I was happy pushing JD and stole, I guess, a second place there. So another solid run and a bunch of points to hopefully get me to the next run.
Yeah, so obviously, yeah, points being the big one because you come in with an 8 point lead after last, or 2 weeks ago, I should say, over Eric Laurie. So I was saying, and I guess the kind of silver lining is like you never want to lose points to anybody, but unfortunately, JD definitely had a rough night 2 weeks, or yeah, rough race 2 weeks ago where he was actually eighth out of the 8 in the playoffs. So I say if there's someone to lose points to, it's probably the best that it's the furthest, that was the person that was the furthest away from you. So. I'm guessing maybe a little silver lining there for at least for the championship side of things.
Yeah, and of course, I rather have one of them, JD, Gabe, some of the boot knocker guys. I rather have them fighting, us as a team for the championship. So as long as it's fighting one of us, then I'm fine with it. There's no issues there. So I think that's the plan. Obviously, they probably, not being in the same Discord with them, they probably feel like, hey, we won't help them out as much, but I'll help them out if they need it. If they need the points, I don't mind it. So yeah, can't wait for the next couple races. Hopefully they go good and we can keep the points lead and hopefully close out another championship here.
Yeah, same. Before we let you get your things and shout outs, I'll definitely tell you to tread lightly when you get around the I lost the team name now, of course. But yeah, when you get around the team haulers though of the IROC boys, if you will, so what I've been calling them, the Limitless team, because I think I think Cody's gonna be looking for you there. So tread carefully when you leave here tonight. But joking aside though, Sebastian, great job tonight, man. Definitely want to give you the floor for any thanks and shouts for that runner up tonight.
Yeah, I'll thank all the boot knockers. Obviously, I wasn't, I guess, relatively racing with them tonight, but we run together, and they're a great group of guys. They know how to race on plate tracks. I want to thank you guys for this broadcast. I want to give a shout out to Steve, who's probably watching the broadcast, waiting for me to hop over back to his Discord so we can continue chatting. And want to thank Area 51/TW for putting on this league. Definitely have a lot of fun on Sundays. It's kind of, I don't want to say like it kind of feels like a relaxing league to me. Just, I think about it, that's just fun. I really enjoyed racing around here. So it's a lot of fun. And yeah, hopefully we have a good end of the season.
All right, man. Yeah, we'll let you go debrief with Steve, and yeah, keep working him over though, because I know he's been kind of itching to get back into it. So keep working him and look forward to getting him back on track here soon.
We'll have an answer, I think, tomorrow or Tuesday if he's coming back.
All right, we'll be looking forward to it. So be ready for a official announcement then, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Seabass. Good talking to you, buddy.
You too, guys. Good night.
All right, that leaves us one left to chat with, Matt. That is going to be our race winner in that number 5 machine of JD Crow. So we're going to pull JD on in over here. And 2 weeks ago didn't go the way you were hoping for to kick off the playoffs, but definitely bounced back in strong fashion tonight, JD. And I say you get that final restart. You see a very familiar face behind you there. That's going to restart behind you. I say it sounds like didn't know if he was kind of a formal teammate or not, just based on kind of the Discord channels and stuff. But I mean, was it one of those things like, yeah, feeling pretty good about this with Sebastian behind me there on that final restart?
Hey, Gail. Yeah, we definitely felt good seeing Sebastian behind me there. I just knew that, just tried to make sure we kept the pack tight on the restart. And, if it came down to that last run to the checker off the trial one, if he had a gap, I knew he'd go up there. So it was just a matter of let's manage these last 2 laps and run it to the checkers.
So it was obviously anything but an easy race for you tonight. There's so much going on throughout the course of it, with obviously the strategies and the timing of some of the yellows at times. Then just at one point, the monster move you made with that third lane, able to cut straight back to the bottom. How confident do you have to be in yourself, your spotter, or just all of the above, I guess, when you have to make those moves where it's like, okay, well, I'm sure your pusher's getting hot, so I got to clear them to make sure that they don't overheat. Because you made some monster moves there to get to the front and have a chance at this one.
Well, I knew that, and again, that was Sebastian, I believe, was behind me at that point. I knew as hard as he was pushing, and he's so good at managing his temps, that he had to be hot, because these cars definitely heat up quick when you're pushing that hard. And I was trying to stay as high as I could for as long as I could to hopefully get him clear and we could both go to the middle. But then when I saw I had a chance to go all the way to the bottom, not really where I thought I would win the race from on the bottom at the end of this thing, but I wanted to get clear far enough so in case there was room, he could get down and not get stuck up there and then fall back. But it worked out at the end. We were able to get back together, and then the fast line just managed to be the low one around here for 3 laps.
So the one that I'm not positive of, because I say Matt was my commentator's cursed person tonight for making the judgment calls and decisions on stuff. I believe he had mentioned at one point you were the only driver that was without an incident point. So is that something that you were able to keep all the way through to the finish side as well?
I did. I'm sitting here looking at a 0x on my data screen. So we maximized the points we could get. Of course, with Sebastian on the pole, and I'm not sure who led the most laps. We probably didn't gain any ground on him for the championships, but as we've seen, 2 races to go, 3 races to go, whatever it is, tables can turn real quickly, and here you can go from leading the chase group to the last car in the chase group. So we'll just keep fighting until it's over.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. Is I mean that first race, Matt and I were joking, we're not sure if it was a full moon or what was going on at Daytona for that first opener, because it just seemed like just all the playoff drivers had something happen there. But I mean, yeah, it's gonna definitely, like I said, it's gonna be a nice jump in points. I was looking from last week's or the last results with BK and Sebastian finishing 1-2, and I mean it was a 10-point difference between the two of them. So you get a pretty good bonus for the win, and like you said, plus a couple extra bonus points for a clean car. So yeah, so I think this is definitely going to put you right back up in a good spot here, because obviously only after the one race, only 30 out. So I mean, I know it's you always, I know you guys take it race by race, but yeah, when you look at, okay, we're halfway through now, we got 2 more to go. Say another Daytona, then Talladega to finish it off. So I'm sure, winning aside, I say knowing that puts you probably right back into championship contention is probably also a really good feeling there as well.
Yeah, it does feel good to have a good race and things go your way, and especially come out victorious, especially with the point system they have on Sunday night. Like I said, we did everything we needed to tonight, and we'll just look forward to Daytona. I'm not sure which one it is, if it's 07 or if it's going to be at night again, but just try to avoid trouble, get those bonus points, and move on to the final.
Yeah, I mean you've been doing it spot on tonight. I mean, that's just keep doing what you did tonight. I'm sure easier said than done, but yeah, great job tonight, JD. But before we let you go and celebrate, definitely you got some associates on the side of that car. Definitely want to let you give them their time here and shout out for that win tonight.
You bet. Yeah, thanks to all the guys down at jconcepts.net in Groveland, Florida, for putting the colors on the cars. So if you guys need any RC car parts or bodies, tires, wheels, make sure you check them out. They'll ship directly from their warehouse there to you, so you can have it for the weekend. And the guys that I run with, Gabe, Eric, Dan there, Dan and I worked real well together tonight during the middle of the race. Peter, and of course, there at the end, Sebastian back behind me, sticking with me to get us to the front for a 1-2. To Charles and all the organizers at Area 51 for putting these races on for us, and for everybody in the field. This is a tough group to race with on Sunday nights, and it's always fun. And last but not least, you guys for the job you do, spreading these broadcasts out across the YouTube for everyone to watch, and for us to watch back at the end and see what an exciting night it was.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to do these. So you guys make it just almost like it's a hang for Matt and I. So you could hear him crack open a cold one there to kind of finish off his night as well. But yeah, you guys, I mean, it's so much fun watching you guys do what you do, and it's something we talk about, the hard racing, but the respect and camaraderie that we see from the teams and the drivers. It's definitely just second to none. So it's been really fun to see, and yeah, great job though tonight, JD. Enjoy this one, and looking forward to what you got for these. Oh yeah, go ahead, sir.
I will, and I've got a shout out to Vicente up there. I mean, we raced him hard. I moved him up the track a little bit just to try to kill what little bit of run they had, and we were able to race really tight together, and no X for either of us. So great job for him and those guys on the top side at the finish.
Yeah, no, you guys, race hard but fair, and I mean that's what you expect in a league like this with the guys you race week in, week out. So yeah, great job though tonight, JD. We'll get you back up with your team, let you guys celebrate. But yeah, go enjoy this one, man.
I will. Appreciate it, guys. Everybody have a good night.
Hey, you too.
All right, Matt, that is our race winner in that number 5 of JD Crow. Again, wasn't the night he was looking for 2 weeks ago to open up the playoffs, right, but able to make some serious gains here tonight in that number 5. So we'll see what the points look like after that. So unfortunately, don't have them up and ready for you all live right now, but it's definitely going to, I'm sure, be a little tighter there. But again, the Sebastian Marin, though, I mean, finishing, or I'm sorry, I think 2 seconds in a row, I should say. So he's definitely starting on the playoff strong here. So they're going to definitely have to try to. I think he might be one that they're going to have to set their sights on. Of course, though, still 7 other guys, but
Right.
he's opened this thing up a 2 runner up. That's a very good start tonight.
Yeah. Hopefully things will continue well. And then, like I said, we had a few championship contenders take a little bit of a spell. You got 2 more races to go, but it's going to be quite the hole to dig out of, being 2 races in already.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. It's such a quick playoff. I mean, again, it's a 12 race season, and doing the 4 race playoff. I mean, there's only so much you can do, and so yeah. I mean, you got to make the most of the situations, and that's what JD was able to do tonight. He was able to, like I said, max points, able to lead laps, incident free race, get the win. So I mean, definitely points gonna be coming his way in that number 5 J Concepts Chevy Camaro. So it's gonna be fun to see. Matt, as always, man, I appreciate you slumming it with me over here, sticking out the storms and AC failures and
Oh God,
and man, I'll say, yeah, you're going to be a busy man. It sounds like here. So
it's going to be a sweaty night, as you would say.
hopefully we can find some magic and get your AC working. So if there's any AC repair in the Tennessee area, say hit up Matt.
Yeah,
say get some working so that way he can not suffer the night as bad. But
No
no, I
problem.
really appreciate you, Matt. It's always a pleasure to have you in the
Oh,
booth.
it's always a pleasure, buddy.
And then yeah, and then on my side, I've got to definitely do my own things and shout outs because I've had a it's been a tough couple week or so for me. I've had a lot of stuff just going on with family stuff. Nothing bad. Everything's good, so don't worry about that. But big thanks and shout out to my dad because I mean he's going through a lot on his own, but he took time out of everything he's going through to help me through some things and make myself a little bit better and be able to help and of course yourself, Matt, and Boomer and Maxwell on Thursday nights and Nick Chambrone on Monday nights was kind of readying the wings to help me out if needed for tonight. So it means a ton to me. And I wasn't really planning on this or being emotional, but yeah, I really appreciate you all that watch, that support, and that are part of this team with me with Area 51 with Green White Checkered. Love you guys all, and thank you all so much for being a part of it. Looking forward to a lot more seasons to come. So yeah, so we're back at it, Matt. We got 2. This is the last of the race, or week 2, I should say.
Oh,
and we got our final 2 weeks in these next 2 weeks for all 3 series. Obviously, playoffs for Monday, Thursday, Sunday. IndyCar's got 2 to go, and that one might as well be a playoff there as well because we got 3 drivers all within touch of that championship as well. So tomorrow night we'll be at Dover. Nick Chambrone calling the shots, so definitely stay tuned. Thank you again all so much for watching, for supporting us. I guess as I said, it means a ton. It really helps. It's a lot of fun to do, and your viewership and your comments and everything, it just makes it that much more enjoyable. So yeah, so if you're ever watching, you're not sure about sending a message, come on in, send a message. We'll chat back with you. But yeah, Matt, thank you so much, sir. Everybody stay safe,
My
take
pleasure.
care, and we'll see you all tomorrow night at Dover.
Have a good night, everyone.